Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another episode of Coolin with Coach Breeze, brought to you by EBO Beard Butter. I am, of course, your game and drip coordinator, Coach Breeze, and today I got another special guest, one of my good brothers. He is the track coach at Dunbar Senior High School, one of three coaches with the House Running Club, and also owner and founder of NextGen Performance Training. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my good brother, Nnamdi Baylor.
Peace.
What's going on, Holmes? What's going on?
Ain't too much, man. Just now getting back in the house.
Man, I understand, man. How you feeling? What's going on in the world of track and field right now?
Man, all is well, especially on our end. Got some big things popping. Junior Olympics bubbling up, coming in a couple days. Getting ready to take off and head to Greensboro, North Carolina.
So I know you just got back. We've been trying to get this together for a few weeks now. I know you just got back from a track meet a few weeks ago. Tell us about it. How was it?
So we went down to club championships down in Jacksonville, Florida. Definitely interesting, definitely exciting. Had the kids do some crazy things down there, crazy in a good way. Came back, had a guy double up and gold in the 17-18 100-meter dash, gold in the 17-18 200-meter dash, and then we got a sophomore, 16-year-old, who is right behind him, right on his heels. So that, in addition to the extra relay team that we got in for Junior Olympics, we doing some major things for the area right now. Definitely putting on.
So love to hear. So listen, I'm the football guy, right? I don't know a whole lot about track and field, and also at one point in time, you were a football guy.
I'm the football guy still,
I
but
mean,
just evolution.
I get it, right? But back in the day, we were teammates at one point in time. You played everything, really. Running back, quarterback, cornerback. You played a little bit of everything. Like you were the definition of a every back, as they used to call it. So, with you being a good football player in your own right, like what was the initial draw for you to track and field?
I started coaching track and field at Wilson. That's our alma mater where we came from. Started off as a football coach at Eastern, which you actually pretty much brought me in there. Then we transitioned back home to Wilson, and honestly, just the culture of football in DCIAA kind of turned me off to it. But I slowly transitioned. While I was on the staff, I was an assistant coach with a couple of the coaches over at Wilson now, and just slowly made my transition there once one of the other coaches left. Took the position as the girls' head coach on paper, and it kind of went from there. Just went to coaching all the sprinters, all the jumps, because I was already doing applied metrics, doing the speed work, doing the sports performance work before I was a track coach there. So it's everything just kind of lined up pretty quickly, pretty smoothly, and now we're here.
So football, as we both know, we all know, a lot of followers of the show are big football fans. Football is looked at as a very, very detail oriented sport, right? Me being a football coach, you know how I coach. I'm very detail oriented with what I do with my receivers, right? I've seen you coach track and the attention to detail that you have and that you put into your athletes. What is the biggest difference for you between coaching football and coaching track, if there is one or two?
I don't think it's too much of a difference outside of, what the actual sport is. I think what you was getting to is, I think what makes a great coach or a decent coach, a good coach, is the knowledge that you have is great, yes, but how do you apply that knowledge and help others to understand and help others to process that same information and apply it themselves from their perspective?
Right. I think that's the biggest thing with coaching. It's easy to know a lot about your sport. It's easy to know a lot about football, about basketball, about track and field. Everybody, it's easy to know a lot about sports. Everybody can't teach it though. It takes a special person to be able to actually take that knowledge and apply it and pass it down to other people that may or may not be the same kind of athlete you were. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you are able to do that, and again, not just teach them, but get production out of them. Like I said, I've seen the work that you put in, and I've seen you win medals and win trophies and do very well with the program that you've been a part of. Every program I've seen you be a part of, you've done well. And that's, that way you don't have to toot your own horn, you know what I'm saying? I got your back on that one. You more
Yeah,
than
man.
hold your own when you're out there on the track. So to the point of being a dual sport athlete, being a dual sport coach, we see a lot of dual sport athletes all the time, middle school, high school, the two of us particularly encourage kids to play multiple sports because you never know what
Right.
sport, you may actually hit it in. You feel me? So we see guys, this is an extreme example, but guys like a Nick Harbor from DC, right? Nick Harbor is widely viewed as an elite level athlete, not only in football, but also in track and field. He's an Olympic level track and field athlete. Am I right? More or
Yeah,
less, more or less,
Olympic caliber for sure.
more or less, more or
He
less.
could be that and will be that if he continues on his
Okay.
path.
So to the people who may not be aware, who maybe athletes or have kids who are athletes, how can you use track and field as an asset in development for other sports, not just football? It can be basketball, baseball, whatever. But how do you view track and field as an asset in development in other sports?
I'll say this: track and field, in addition to or aside from gymnastics, I think track and field is the foundational sport, far as movement patterns, jumping, running, throwing, all types of different movements and athletic actions. You know what I mean? Are seen in track and field. And I think once you get that base of track and field and you learn how to sprint, you learn how to accelerate, you learn how to maintain, and in addition to the speed, endurance, and everything else, whatever the next sport is, whatever you move to next is a lot easier because you already had those movement patterns. You've already learned how to move efficiently. If you got a good coach, if you got a good uh, training environment, I think that helps and makes everything else that much more easier.
Okay, so again, with me being a football coach, what do you have, especially talking about dual sport athletes? What do you have to say to the people who feel like, for a track athlete, obviously you train a certain way for track. You have a certain function in track is to go forward essentially as fast as you can to beat everybody. What do you say to the people who feel like, track may not be an asset because, let's say, for football, for example, football, there's a lot of changing directions in football. So a lot of people feel like track athletes may struggle to, they can fly in a straight line, but they may struggle on the field to change direction. What do you have to say about that concern for some people?
If you have a coach who's educated and well versed in what he's doing and sports science in general, you
Mhm.
are training multi-planar anyway. You're training multiple directions. You're not just going forward. You know what I mean? If you're doing it
Right.
right. So we shouldn't just be going straight. It should be some type of change of direction drills. We should be making linear movements. We should be, doing all of those kinds of things. Now, as far as cuts and all of that goes, then we might not see that as much. But look at the NFL. Look at
Right.
all the guys that are top draft picks, all the guys that have made money running the 40-yard dash. 90% of those dudes have ran track. Look at Christian McCaffrey. Look at his training regimen, what he's been doing since he's been in high school. A lot of plyometrics, a lot of speed work. Pretty much all his all-season workouts are track workouts.
Right.
So the proof is in the pudding.
I mean, I feel like if you have a good coach and a coachable kid, it's not hard to convert, to kind of blend the skill sets to convert it when you need to convert it. And again, so again, as a wide receiver coach, sometimes you just need that track speed to fly a straight line down the field. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that's more so the Dunbar side of things, right? Or the high school side of things. So you started coaching track at the high school level. Like you jumped in like I did with football. You jumped in at the high school level. There was no development step by step level, right?
I couldn't.
So
I don't have the patience to coach anything younger than that.
I listen. We've had this conversation off camera. You know how I feel about that. That's also why I didn't want to coach, Pop Warner, and although I've had the opportunities, man,
Love the
I
kids.
I
Love
love
the
them.
kids.
Coach Breeze love the kids. You feel me? But I just, the opportunities that I had, I feel like for what I want to do and the way I coach, I can't do it with level with kids because kids don't listen as well. They don't retain information as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very attention to detail oriented, and a 5-year old, 6-year old just may not be able to grasp that. It's not their fault. It's just 5 or 6, your attention span is all over the place.
It is what it is.
Right. But what after having success at the high school level, what made you want to kind of go into essentially go into business for yourself by, starting next gen and then joining with the house?
So next gen was always a thing. It was always sports performance training. If you remember back when we was younger, I was even helping and coaching and
Yeah.
training folks. But the next gen track club situation, that was me trying to create a space for athletes to compete during that time of COVID and the lockdown, and all the DC sports was shut down. All of the area sports, maybe minus Virginia, was shut down. So we had a lot of restrictions on what we could and couldn't do under those DC entities. So create the track club, next gen track club. We get out there, we get some kids on the track. More than anything else, we keep these kids involved, keep them active, keep them moving during the time when everything else was shut down. And they actually went out and did some phenomenal things on the track. And I think that kind of not think that set the stage for what the house is now, who was founded by like a big homie, Coach Dave, who was actually one of the sprint coaches at Catholic University. Um, this is his brainchild. Next Gen was just a precursor, kind of see what it is, and now we are. It's Coach Dave, Coach Lindo, who is the head coach at Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring, and me, and just got three like minds, great minds, guys who kind of got the same vision, feel the same way about youth and sports and development. So I think this is the perfect equation far as coaching staff goes, far as energy goes. I think we got the best coaching staff in the world. You ask me, I don't care. Put me, him, and him against anybody.
I mean, seeing y'all work together, and obviously, again, the football staff is much bigger, but as far as like the cohesion and the way that y'all work together, I mean, it's seamless. You know what I mean? It's effortless. Like if one of y'all ain't got it that day, the other one can pick it up. Like y'all just bounce ideas off each other. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
y'all work
I think the biggest thing is no ego involved when it comes to each other.
right.
Everybody understands everybody else's abilities. We all have similar skill sets, and it's not a pissing match. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
My
not only do all three of y'all know what y'all talking about and not have an ego, but with the way that y'all coach, all of y'all have can bond with the kids and get through to them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be dictators. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can be not. I mean, I guess in other sports it'll be referred to as a players coach. You know what I mean?
right.
Definitely in football and basketball, the players coaches, can be a negative connotation, although it's not. But just seeing again, I feel like a kid will run through a wall for you if he respects you, if he got love for you, genuine love for you, and he or she, know that you care about them without having to yell at them and some of the other things that we see, coaches do. I think that's a big thing, especially with just the way kids are.
I think
These
that's the biggest thing, building a relationship with
yeah.
that kid, with that athlete, with that athlete's family, and just
Mhm.
if anybody knows me, you know my kids. Once I ain't gonna say my kids. If you know the kids, you know the athletes. It's like once you win, you win. You're a part of the family forever. It's
Right.
not just sports. Even if you stop playing sports, the relationship continues. Y'all got my number. You can call me whenever, text me whenever, and that's been the case since I started.
So what else can you tell us about next gen and or the house? And furthermore, what sets y'all programs apart from other programs? But you don't have to obviously you don't have to mention any other program. What sets y'all apart from what I mean, any other potential track clubs or performance training groups out there?
So I would say, in addition to the group of guys that we have coaching this team, that energy that these guys bring, I think that attracts a certain type of athlete. Once you see the results that are produced, once you see the numbers that are being dropped, I think it's just like, all right, we starting to attract a certain type of athlete, certain caliber of athlete, and the athlete pretty much does everything else from there. Once they put the work in and others see the work, they want to be a part of that movement, a part of that process, and I think everything else just carries from there. Now we just got to lay the foundation like we doing this year. Last year was like all right, we sticking our foot in the water, dipping our toe in the water, right? This year we jumping in. We got a group of dogs, a group of guys who are hungry for success, hungry for that top spot. You know what I mean? And not just locally, but they trying to do it on a national level, on a world level.
Right.
It's crazy things coming, man.
So to any athletes who maybe have slight track and field experience, or maybe they participate in other sports, or just athletes in general, kids in general. Like, do you have any additional advice for anybody who might be looking to get into track and field and maybe isn't well versed in it or experienced with it?
And I'm saying jump in. So before you jump in, find a coaching staff, find a coach who fits well with you. You know what I mean? A coach who feels genuine, a coach who is knowledgeable, and you think could help you learn the sport and develop as an athlete. Do your research. Don't just join a track club because the uniforms are cute or your high school coach told you to join the track club. You know what I mean? Do
makes
the research
makes
with your family and find it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So what's next for next gen and or the house again? Well, more so the house, because that's the
Yeah,
you know
that's the topic right now.
program. Yeah.
So far as the house goes, next step, far as near future, is Junior Olympics that's coming up in a few days. The guys will ride down to Greensboro, North Carolina, and compete against some of the best teams and athletes in the country. So we are looking to smash it in the 17-18 4x1, smash it in the 17-18 4x4. Looking for some hot times to drop. And if I had to come out here and predict the time, I'm saying these boys gonna run 39-3 or better in the 4x1, and 4x4 they'll run 3-0 something, and those are crazy times, college times. You know what I mean? If you know anything about the events, uh, talk about future a little further out. We got some guys who have some backgrounds, some familiar backgrounds from other countries where I think at World Championships, at U20s, at Olympics 2028, that talent group could potentially, and I would bet on it, represent those countries all from this area. Keep that training group together, and I think it's going to be some major things, some things we haven't seen from DC, Maryland area teams in a while, if at all.
So to that point, right? This is the biggest, essentially, basically the biggest time of year every 4 years, basically for track and field. I mean, I know y'all have nationals and all that kind of stuff, but
Yeah,
you
Olympics is
know,
too.
right? The Olympics is king. Now, I am not even going to sit here and pretend I am a novice when it comes to track. Like, I know Shakari Richardson, I know Noah Lyles, and I know a bunch of people from a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like Usain Bolt and like Michael Johnson, and I'm saying it get way down there. You know what I
Right.
mean? With this being the biggest time of the year for track and field, you know what I mean? What's some athletes, even locally, nationally, internationally, to keep an eye on for the Olympics, and what's some events that you personally are looking forward to seeing, go down?
So I'll kill three birds with one stone, man. And give you some predictions. So men's 100-meter dash, I'm going not even jump out on a limb. I'm going to say Jamaica's Kashane Thompson. He's going to bring home the gold for that. And then I
Okay.
think it'll be a Fred Curley and a Noah Lyles in the next two of the top three.
Okay.
Um, Still some other guys you can't sleep on. I think Oblique Seville is in the mix too. And then far as the women's 100, I think Shakari gonna do it. I think Sharika gonna be on her ass, and then maybe Julian Alfred if she's there, or one of those names that are always at the top in the finals will be around. TT might sneak in there and get her Olympic medal.
Okay.
Far as men's 200, I think Noah Lyles kind of got it in the bag, but you can't sleep on Tobago out of I think it's Botswana, and there's it's a couple other guys, Kenny Bednard, that are going to be in the hunt. Women's 200-meter dash, I'm going to be biased. Sharika Jackson from Jamaica, she going to bring that gold. Um, I think Shakari may steal a medal. But Gabby definitely I see her for silver, and I think that that third place medal, that bronze medal, was up for a toss up. Um, Other than that, can't wait to see the 400 hurdles, men's and women. Can't wait to see the open four. Those relays are gonna go crazy. I'm not a huge fan of what them relay camps been looking like, far as social media goes, but relays gonna be stupid. Relays gonna be stupid.
Okay,
So
real quick. So to the point with the relays, right? Am I correct in I guess my understanding that there's a kid from the area that's on the relay team?
So Quincy Wilson, he has been drafted, so to speak, to run on the U.S. 4x4. So it's a couple different ways they could use him. They could use him in the prelims because everything is rounds at the Olympics. You run it
Right.
through prelims, semifinals, and finals for most events. So they'll probably use him in the preliminary rounds, maybe the semis. If they use him in the final rounds of the 4x4, that would be great, and it'd be breaking history once again. That kid has been doing some freaky shit.
And he's what, 16, 17?
16,
16.
I think 16 years old, man, and a lot of work to do. That's raw talent, pure talent, man.
So lastly, well not lastly, but I do have two more questions before we get up out of here, right? Now I've seen you train, right? And a lot of times, keep it a buck. A lot of times you train barefoot, right? That's what you do, right? Now, in my circles, social media circles, I have become known as somewhat of the game day drip guy, right? The footwear guy, the outfit guys, going to games and getting dressed up and all that kind of stuff. Cool. And to the people who you know keep that going for me, I appreciate it. Thank y'all, and I love y'all. Real quick, to the people who may not know, because a lot of people don't, what is the importance of making sure that you not only have the proper footwear for training, but the proper footwear for competition? Because I know a lot of people don't know. Like we see kids running track in basketball shoes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, what's the importance of making sure you have the proper footwear on?
Track and field, man. Your shoes is your feet. You know what I mean? Your shoes take care of your feet. That's like your rifle. You go on to war. You can't go to war without your gun. So
Right,
your feet, I think, is your most important part. Yeah, your most important part of your body, especially with track and field, because your feet affect everything else. Your ankles, your knees, your hip, your back. You know that, man. That's those are your roots. You got to take care of your babies. Those are your money makers.
right.
So you got to put the best on your feet. Um, right now, I'm gonna say, far as competition goes, spikes. I think Nike has the best selection of spikes, whether it be sprint spikes, distance spikes, or jumping spikes.
Mm.
Hands down, Nike. You know what I mean?
To
And then
all
a
the
lot of
track parents out there, all the track kids, make sure
yeah,
y'all paying attention. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all getting the right footwear for y'all kids and y'all athletes out there.
a lot of the other brands don't even have certain models that are like clear through the international track committees
Yeah.
and all that bullshit. But yeah, Nike hands down far as competition. But far as running shoes go for practice and training, about this time of year, if you're going into fall training, you want something that has a little thicker of a sole on the shoe. So a Hoka is cool, not too much. Nike got some great options. Nothing more if you're a sprinter, nothing more than about an inch or inch and a half max. I say an inch for that bottom sole because you want to be to close enough to the track, to the turf, to whatever you're training on, to that surface where you can feel what you're doing. Your feet can feel where you're making those contacts at, but still enough for you to have that cushion and not have too much wear and tear in your joints in the off season. Then
So
closer you get to in season, the thinner the sole can be.
so what's the barefoot thing about? What's
Barefoot for me is a comfortability thing, man. It's you know what I mean. I wish we had a grass field sometimes, far as grounding goes, so I could, you know,
digging and you know what I'm saying,
you feel me?
actively
If you know
working.
anything about grounding and magnetic fields and energy, that's healing for your body, man. But just a free thing. I'd be tired of wearing my shoes all day.
Fair enough. All right, so before we get up out of here, if someone themselves or again any parents that may have a kid is interested in track, wanted to get their child either a part of Dunbar's track team, which I know is a completely different process. A part of next gen is from a training standpoint, or even a part of the house from a club running standpoint. How would they get in touch with you or any of the other coaches, and to become a part of the program?
I'm gonna say like this: if you're trying to run high school track in DC, you are in DCIAA, DCPS. If you want to run fast, come to Dunbar. Just hit my DMs. Hit the Dunbar XCTF Instagram page. That's Dunbar XCTF. You can DM that page, or you can DM the Next Gen New Life page, which is my page. Let me see if we can get Breeze to put it up there. But
I got you.
yeah. So hit up one of them pages. DM if you want to run fast.
What's
If
the
you
other
want to
page?
be
You
great.
said Dunbar XCTF. What's the other one?
Yeah, Dunbar XCTF is the school page. The other one is Next Gen NextGen, and then EWLIFE. And it's a I think it's a big green and black triangle on there, but y'all can hit me in the DMs via that. But yeah, if you want to run fast, that's where you can find me at. Either one of those two places. Um,
Like
the
that.
House Running Club. You can DM myself. You can DM Coach Lindo at Professor Lindo on Instagram. You can find Coach Dave at the Coach Dave, but his page is private, or you can DM him at the Speed School. Just hit either one of those pages, and I'll send you to any of those guys. But if you want to be great, if that's your goal, if you want to do this at a high level or perform at a high level, then those are places that you need to find if you're in the area. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not gonna say it's not any other option, but go with what you know. You know what I mean? I don't see too many other clubs or teams doing the things that our guys are doing.
Cool, cool. So before we get up out of here, is there anything that you want to add? Anything you want to put a stamp on before we close out?
Um, nah, not too much, man. Just look out. It's about to be scary.
Hmm, I think that's a perfect place to end it. So on that note, my brother, Coach Baylor, I appreciate you. You dropped some gems for us today, and I hope the video reaches the right people, the right parents, the right kids, and everybody can take heed to what was said today. I appreciate you, good brother. As
Yeah,
always,
man. Anytime. Great platform, great questions, man. Proud of you,
I
daughters.
appreciate it. I
This is
appreciate
great.
it, man. I appreciate it. So to the people watching, make sure y'all follow, share, like, subscribe, retweet, repost, bookmark, everything, all that and above. All right. Until next time, this has been the Coolin' with Coach Breeze podcast brought to you by EBO Beard Butter. We gone.